Okay, today we are going to be doing experiment synthesis of fragrant esters part 1. First one is to wear your goggles and your gloves. Mark 3 test tubes with the numbers 1, 2, and 3. Record which numbers will relate to the esters as reflected in the data table. So I've gone ahead and labeled all of my test tubes accordingly, and they are right here. Okay, so let's get started. First one, it says place 4 drops of acetic acid into numbered test tube. So let's see, acetic acid. Where's my acetic acid? Right. I don't like this already. Okay, and the next step says place 5 drops of methanol into test tube number 1. So we have methanol. You probably can't see it because my computer is too far away from me. Now it says place 5 drops of ethanol into test tube number 2. And now it says place 5 drops of isomal alcohol into test tube number 3. So we grab our pipette. Now it says to add 2 drops of sulfuric acid to each test tube. So sulfuric acid. Now it says gently swirl, shake, and agitate each test tube to mix the acids and the alcohol. Now it says to set up the burner stand, so I'm going to set up my burner stand. That's my lighter. And from here it says fill half the 100 ml glass beaker with very hot tap water and place it on the burner stand until water comes to a rolling boil. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. So it says, okay, place it on. And now we're just going to wait for the water to begin to boil. So our water has barely begun to boil. Okay, so our 5 minutes have passed, and now next we're going to do, it says to place the 3 tests, we're going to transfer them over. Actually, what we're going to do first is it says to use the clamp in the test tube one at a time from the hot bath water, suck up into an empty pipette, then drop 20 drops of water from the pipette into each test tube. Agitate and then replace the test tubes in the test stand. So we're going to grab our pipette. We're going to go ahead and move it over here. So it wants us to agitate and mix them so we can smell them. So we're going to go ahead and just give them a good shake. Next step is we're going to actually try to detect the odor of each of the products in each test tube. So we're going to go ahead and start with number 1. I can't really tell on this one. It kind of smells a little vinegary, almost like an acetone to me. Okay, so number 2. Oh wait, this one smells more like an acetone. Like what you would, when you walk into a nail salon, that's what it smells like, when the ladies just have their nails just done. This one to me is very sweet. Almost to me it resembles kind of like a banana smell. Yeah, I would say it smells like a banana to me. Number 1 is kind of hard to detect. But if I had to say anything, it almost has like a vinegary smell to me. So that's it for part 1. I'm going to go ahead and stop this and then I'll be back with part 2. Okay, now we're going to begin part 2 of synthesis of fragrant esters. Number 1 says to mark 4 test tubes, numbers 4, 5, 6, and 7, which I have already done. I already pre-labeled all my stuff. Step 2, place the test tube racks or well plate to securely hold them, for which I have. Number 3, perform the following steps near an open window, as uric acid has a strong, unpleasant odor like rancid butter. So I have pretty much an open area, so my windows are open in the back. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. It says number 4 says place 4 drops of uric acid into test tube number 4, 5, and 6. So we have uric acid. If you are going to do this experiment, I really highly suggest to open windows because this thing does smell. Next one says place 5 drops of methanol into test tube number 4. So methanol. And then we're going to place 5 drops of ethanol into test tube number 5. And then we're going to add 5 drops of isoamyl alcohol into test tube number 6. Now it says to add 2 drops of sulfuric acid into each test tube. Now it says to gently agitate each test tube and mix the acid and alcohols. Now it says place the weighing boat on the digital scale and tap out the weight of 0.2 grams of salicylic acid and transfer it into a clean and dry test tube number 7. I have already gone ahead and already done that. Now it says add 6 drops of methanol to test tube number 7. So methanol, we're going to do 6 drops. And we are going to mix it until content is well mixed. Then it says to add 2 drops of sulfuric acid. So just like before, we're going to set up our burner. And we're going to bring our water to a boil too, just like before. Okay, so our water has begun to boil, so we're going to actually extinguish this flame over here. And like before, all we're going to simply do is just cover that right there like that. Make sure it's out. It's out. Okay. And we are just going to simply move this really fast to right here. And then we are going to transfer the beakers into the hot water and let them sit for 5 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and start the timer. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm just going to start cleaning up my workstation and getting the stuff that I need ready. We're at about 2 minutes and 20 seconds. Okay, so our 5 minutes is up. So now it wants us to remove the test tubes one at a time from the hot bath water, suck water up into the empty pipette, and then drop 20 drops of water from the pipette into each tube. Then we're going to mix them all together. Mix them. So we're going to go ahead and get our water. Now it says to use the clamps, but they're not that hot, so I'm just going ahead and just grabbing them. So we're going to go ahead and give these a really good shake. We're going to have to change the time. We're going to have to stop it. Hold on. Okay, now that we've agitated them, mixed them all together, we're going to go ahead and see if we can find the scent. So test tube number 4 smells like acetone, I would say. Number 5 has a very sweet smell. It actually smells like pineapples, so I would say this is pineapples. Number 6, it's also sweet. I would describe this as like smelling like licorice, like the red vine ones. And number 7 is my favorite because it smells like mint, like peppermint, like the wintergreen, and that's what I would say it smells like. Okay, so that does it for the end of synthesis of fragrant esters part 2. Thank you.